Jada Pinkett has been making waves about this book Worthy. A lot of people have been mad that she has been speaking. They're like, I want her to shut up, all while she has been on her tour to sell this book. Now, I bought this book so that y'all didn't have to, and we could all kiki and get a sip of what is going on together. Now, again, we're not reading this book in order. I think Tupac comes in around when she's talking about the University of the Be More Streets. That's when she's getting into like the Tupac teas. So we can start there. We were required to report to the massive performing hall at Baltimore School for the Arts and imposing room. It was memorable for its super high ceilings and a stage built from beautiful dark wood. As I saunter in with my new extended rat tail down to my butt crack, I immediately catch eyes with the new dude across the room who is engaged in a very energetic conversation with one of our classmates. He's wearing a thick old school alpaca sweater and jeans. He has beautiful brown skin with big brown eyes, heavy eyebrows, and a tiny peanut head. The minute I turn and notice him, he's already staring at me. Me catching his eyes gives him the gumption to walk across the room and come right to me. Boldly, he smiles, a big old smile, showing off his big old teeth, and puts out his hand to shake mine. Hi, he says, I'm Tupac. I'm struck by the power of the unusual name. Tupac? His smile will become an unforgettable feature, a million watts of white teeth, and his hands feel strikingly clammy, becoming an ongoing joke between us for the duration of our friendship. The power of his presence lets me know right away that he is something special. I'm Jada. I smile back. Nice to meet you, Tupac. Hi, Jada, he says. From the gate, Pac was an undeniable charismatic who could captivate any room, peanut head or not. He hadn't yet told me his story or that he was already making moves as a 15-year-old rapper to be the next Rakim or that he has serious acting chops. But I would soon find out all of that and so much more. What I didn't expect, even with the uniqueness of his vibe, was that this young man and I would create a bond that would impact my life forever. So back to Tupac. Why did she start it off with, all right, Pac, kiss me then? Like, wait, what? We just... like, how did it get to all right, Pac, kiss me then? Like, what? How did it jump to that? I just was not expecting that because the previous page was this. So this was the previous page right here where she did the quote from Steve Martin, and then she talked about all of this stuff right here where she was saying all these questions and all this whatever page. Then it goes to, all right, Pac, kiss me then. It says, all right, Pac, kiss me then. Pac and I are standing on my tiny back porch on Price Ave, and the two of us are bantering about how maybe if we actually tried to be more than friends, could it work or not? And I decided to dare him. During our teen years, it wasn't really Pac's good looks that grabbed you because his sculpted features and unforgettable handsomeness hadn't quite come in yet. She said he was still in his ugly stage. So it wasn't that. She said Tupac was in his peculiar stage. At that point, child, we got to get into this. I think I'm going to take my eyelashes off, you guys. They're bothering me. She says, during our teen years, it wasn't really Pac's good looks that grabbed you because his sculpted features and unforgettable handsomeness hadn't quite come in yet. What he did have, even in the 10th grade, was pure, unadulterated charisma that was out of this world. Oh my God, I need to stop. What he saw in me at first might have been just that I was the cute, feisty girl in the room. For any curious male spirit, that's the first move to want to know her name and see what's up. We became inseparable from the moment we met. We were kindred spirits in so many ways. And although Pac may have been an attraction to me in the beginning, the more time we spent together, the more we could both see that there was no romantic chemistry between us at all. There were no airs between us. Either we could be raw and authentic without the constraints of having to impress each other. You got what you got. There was no butterflies, no tingles in the body, no hot desire to be in each other's embrace. Rather, there was something far more important unfolding between us. A friendship of a powerful strength, giving us the ability to hold space for each other, though some of the most unbearable moments of our lives. Being as young as we were and as tight as we both found it confusing at times that we weren't drawn to each other romantically. Hence the day he got on my last nerve about the possibility of being more than friends. And I dared him to kiss me. Without hesitation, Pac grabbed me in his arms and did just that. So she keeps saying that they wasn't attracted to each other romantically, but if he's asking you to be more than friends, just say that he was attracted to you and you wasn't attracted to his peanut head because he hadn't even grown into his looks yet. So anyway, she says, without hesitation, Pac grabbed me in his arms and he did just that. The kiss lasted a few seconds before we both pulled away in mutual disgust. It felt wrong. Pac pulled back with his eyes all squinted as if he had drunk spoiled milk. I'm not about to play with Jada. He wiped his lips hard and said, "What the F?" I laughed my A off. See, I told you, dummy. Oh. Oh my God. She said, I laughed my A off. See, I told you, dummy. It was literally like a sister and brother trying to make out. All I knew, though, was that it was possible to really love a guy deeply without it having anything to do with a hanky panky type attraction. I had never felt that before. Pac made up for the lack of male protection and care I saw in my life. Unlike other guys who wanted to flash their jewels, cars, cash, their value, because Pac didn't have any of those things to display as his worth, he offered his mind, his care, and attention. Besides, I think God knew that if hanky panky attraction had been possible between us, we would have left each other in a special kind of ruin. Instead, God gifted us with a special kind of friendship. Now, our bond didn't come without its challenges and costs. We were both fiery, passionate, and dangerously stubborn. This made for feral fights. We didn't take each other's ish, and unfortunately, we also knew how to hurt each other like no other. Our tongues were the sharpest of swords between us. These fights could leave us to not speaking for days, sometimes weeks at a time. But we always made it back. Always. But nobody could tease me like Pac. He knew how to get under my skin. He created a nickname to remind me that I wasn't as up on my game as I acted. It was brutal. He called me square for life. When I first met Pac, he owned one sweater, the same one he worn the day I met him. 2 pairs of pants and a few shirts, that's all. Pac couldn't hide the reality of poverty in his life. Looking for an easier way of life, in part, his mom had brought him and his little sis, Sikaiwa, I don't know how to say her name, from New York to Baltimore, but it didn't sound like their lives had gotten much easier for them. As Pac and I grew closer, I got a clearer picture and learned that, like my mother, his mother, Afeni, struggled with addiction. Like mine, his environment was full of instability and chaos. We really bonded as the result of riding the same roller coaster with our moms, and both suffered the pains and disappointment that came with it. Unlike my mother, Afeni had not been able to secure work, which had only worsened their financial struggles. Pac never said so, but I could tell that getting to eat 3 meals a day was not a given for him, nor were shoes that fit or getting a good night's sleep. Between my regular jobs and cash I'd started to make it in the streets, I always had some money in my pockets to help Pac. I made it my business to ensure that he was straight, but not on some charity ish. Pac was prideful. He had standards about what it meant to be a man and stood his ground on that. In spite of how he may have been suffering, if he was made to feel like I thought he needed assistance, he would refuse support